I ruined my daughter's relationship by making the love of her life grovel at my feet. Now she's ran away from home and I don't know how to fix this. Trigger warning, infidelity and sewer slide. I, 53M, have a daughter, 25F, who has been dating her current boyfriend, I'll call him James, 28M, for 2 years now. Before meeting him, my daughter strictly told me not to mention his dad or any family members to him. He is not close with them, and I didn't ask what happened because it was not my place to know. Genuinely, I liked him a lot. He is a good man, responsible, neat, and truly loves my daughter, and we bonded well. A couple days ago, my daughter came to visit me along with James. I was fixing my car at the time, and James looked curious and asked what I was doing. I showed him my car and said that I'm fixing it. We got into talking, and he told me he doesn't know how to fix his car, he just pays someone else to do it. I was shocked. I told him that I could teach him so he doesn't need to waste his money on fixing basic things, and so I did. He was a fast learner. After he was done, I patted him on the back and said, "Well done, son." The expression on his face instantly changed. He was happy for 1 second, and then he wasn't. He broke down crying on the floor. I tried my best to calm him down, but he was wailing. By the time my daughter came, he was in a fetal position. I was confused, and my daughter took him inside. He spent the night. My daughter just took his dinner into her room. She came downstairs and asked what happened. I gave her the details, and she was livid with me. She was almost screaming and asked why the hell did I say "well done, son." She specifically told me not to mention anything about his family. I said I didn't, I just said "well done, son," because that's what you usually say when you are proud of them. I didn't even utter the word father, it just slipped. I said sorry and asked if I could talk to him and apologize. She was pissed and told me to forget it. He is not in good shape. They left early in the morning, and I don't know what I did wrong here. I have been asking my daughter about him, and it was just one-word answers. What do I do? Update 1. So, a lot of details have come to light that I previously did not know about. Yesterday, my daughter called and asked if I could come to her place, and I said, of course. When I arrived, the first thing my daughter did was hug me and apologize for yelling and berating me. She admitted she was wrong and should have handled it like a mature adult. I reassured her that it's fine and I understand why she panicked. She also mentioned that James wants to meet me. James was in their shared bedroom and requested privacy. As soon as I entered, he started apologizing, saying he didn't mean to make things awkward. He acknowledged that he shouldn't have cried like that in front of me, that as a grown man, he should have kept his emotions in check. He explained that he had never had a major breakdown like this in 3 years and that he usually has control over his emotions. I asked him to calm down, assuring him that I am not mad at him, but then he started telling me a story, and it made me sick to my stomach. Here it is, back when he was in his final year of college, his mother had passed the year before, and his parents had married too young because his mother was pregnant. They were both in bad shape, but his dad was even worse than before. He would often visit his dad along with his girlfriend. One day, he found his girlfriend cheating on him with his dad. I won't go into much detail, but you can imagine the mess. His father gave him lame excuses like he was lonely and whatnot. He cut off all contact with his dad and went to live with his grandmother, and his grandmother gave his dad a piece of her mind and threatened to call the police on him. After that, he fell into depression, skipped his classes, and flunked. He underwent intense therapy and managed well on his own, and that's when he moved away from his grandmother's state and came closer to us. That poor boy was sobbing as he told me this story in excruciating detail. It almost made me cry. Also, that's not the reason he cried. He cried because a few days ago, he received a letter from his grandmother stating that his dad had committed sewer slide. He wrote a letter to James, and James did read the letter, but he felt nothing. He showed me the contents of said letter, and essentially, it was that lowlife apologizing and asking for a second chance. I got a little gist of what happened after the affair was discovered. His father and that girl were pretty much ostracized by everyone. They lived in a small town, so word got around, the father's friends basically disowned him, and every relative he had stopped talking to him. He lost his respect and dignity. He begged his mother to give James's address, but his grandmother refused. He couldn't find James because he had changed his name, as he now goes by his maternal grandmother's maiden name. Also, in the letter, he mentioned he had liver failure because after James left, he drank nonstop. He regrets what he has done and knows he can never take it back. He will always have to carry the guilt. He has thought about sewer slide a lot of times, but he knows if he does, he has to answer to his deceased wife about why he did what he did. Lastly, his dad mentioned he has no contact with that woman because she was the reason why he lost his son. He does acknowledge his own fault, but mostly he blamed that woman because she bewitched him. I can't believe that even in his grave, he avoided accountability. James said he wasn't bothered by his passing until that day when I called him son. If it were some other time, he wouldn't have reacted the way he did. It was just the timing. He cried because he knew he lost his father forever. He didn't even go to his funeral because he knew if he did, his progress would go down the drain. But he misses having a father. He knows what his dad did was wrong, but they were both pretty close. His dad was his cheerleader, and he still couldn't believe his dad would do this to him. He mentioned that if his dad were alive, he probably would have contacted him in the near future, like in 10 or 20 years, but he just lost both of his parents forever. I apologized to him for triggering something like that. I also told him he is a wonderful man, and any man would be proud to have a son like him. It's such a shame his dad threw it all away because he couldn't control his manhood. Sorry, I know this person is deceased, but I have no respect for him. What he did was his and only his fault. And I am proud of James, he has managed very well for himself. He reassured me that even though he has trauma, he never hurt my daughter and really loves her. He said that he has been thinking about asking for her hand from me. Now, I would have said yes, but I put some conditions, that he needs to get a psych evaluation and go to therapy. I know he is a good person, but right now, he is not in a good headspace. He should take my daughter to couples counseling with him. He accepted them without hesitation. As for my daughter, I did ask her why she kept this huge thing away from me. She said she didn't want me to judge him, that she knows what he went through, and it really hurts her to see him being triggered. She did mention she heard him cry in the bathroom when they first moved in. She loves him and understands that he has PTSD, but according to her, he is the best guy she has ever dated. I told her I do not care who she dates, be it a truck driver, a billionaire, or someone who is an orphan, as long as the guy is good and treats her well, she has my approval. Sorry, that was long, but it is tough to summarize everything in such short words.